Well, welcome back, everyone. I am so happy you're here as we continue to celebrate these sisters and spotlight these talents and these amazing gifts that are available in our world today. You know, it takes television and tools like we have, including video, for people to actually see what's available. You see, you don't know till you know who is doing what in the marketplace. So, the DrFaye talk show is hosted on Brand on Demand Television Network on Roku, Amazon, and soon to be Apple, as well as all social media channels. It brings to you women professionals and leaders, coaches, consultants, entrepreneurs who are making an impact upon this world. And matter of fact, a mark that can never be erased. And it's been my privilege and honor to host this amazing interview-a-thon this week. And this is day 3 of our interview-a-thon. And we have some amazing guests still lined up for you. And we've had privilege to be able to hear some powerful women over these past 3 days. And so this afternoon, we continue this live stream for just for you because I have another amazing guest who's about to take the stage in a moment. But I'm telling you something, when you talk about transformation and you talk about the power of the caterpillar becoming the butterfly, you don't feel it until is actually done. You start sensing and something is about to change. And I want you to know for the next 20 plus minutes, your life is going to change. You will sense and know that something is shifting on the inside of you. So I want you to give a round of applause for my next guest this afternoon, none other than the fabulous Jackie Dickens Walker. Welcome to the DrFaye Show, Jackie.
Oh, thank you, Dr. Faye. It's my honor to be here with you.
Oh, it is an honor having you. You are a beautiful, beautiful being. I love your spirit. I love your energy. I love what you're putting out into the world, and it deserves to be spotlighted. And Jackie, I know you and I are going to have a conversation here in just a moment to showcase what you're doing to help women move from where they are to where they need to be in their bodies. We all
Yes.
have concerns about health and how we're going to live out our lives in these containers. So, but before we get into that, I'd like for our audience to know a little bit more about you and what brings you to this journey of positioning your body to be healthy.
Well, great. And again, thank you for having me. I'm retired Navy vet. I started in the Army back when I was 18, and then I later retired from the Navy. So I have a little Army, a little Navy. And throughout my adult life and career, I struggled with weight. There are weight standards. As a matter of fact, I was in the Army in the early 80s, 1981 is when I joined, and weight standards were introduced to the military overall. Well, I was running a marathon, triathlon, doing dance class, running 5 miles a day, doing 100 sit ups, 50 push ups every day, and I still was considered overweight.
Hmm.
Um, and then later, I got out of the Army, had children. And then later, after 9/11, I wanted to go back in. So I went in the Navy this time. And guess who was there to greet me? The weight standards.
Ah.
Well, now I've since retired from the military. So I'm a retired veteran. And I recently turned 61. But right before my 60th birthday, I had a transformation. I was not feeling well. My blood pressure was off. I was very, very, very sick feeling, a lot of aches and pains in my joints. And
Mhm.
I just chalked it up to being older. Well, what I found out through a fellow health coach friend of mine who introduced me to a program because I didn't want to be put on blood pressure medication. I knew I needed to do something else. And I had always been active. Well, I lost 38 pounds and 10 inches around my waist.
Wow.
And at the age of 60, and during that process, I learned about sugar. Sugar plays a very tricky role in our diet.
Mm.
And the rise of sugar in our country, but also globally, since we share our food
Mhm.
with a lot of other countries, has gone through the roof. And the role that sugar plays in what we eat and why we eat what we eat was all unfolded during this process. That became my new calling. I can't stop talking about it. I must share.
You've got to share. It's your mission. It's your mission. You're passionate about it because it's your calling to share that. I believe that, Jackie. And when you mention sugar, and we think about how I want to use the word sneaky, or how it's placed in food, and we're not even aware that we're actually taking in sugar. So talk about it. I want people to really get this, especially now that we're moving into the holidays. We're moving into high sugar season, and it's all about the treats, from trick or treat to Thanksgiving treats and Christmas treats and New Year's treats. So as we're treating ourselves with sugar, please, let's have this big talk.
Well, in my research during this transformation that I experienced personally, I found an article that was put out by the World Cancer Research Fund International. This is globally. And it's an article called Curbing Global Sugar Consumption. And in this article, the World Health Organization put out that we should not be eating any more than 5% of our total calorie intake per day. Now that sounds like a foreign language, right? Who understands that, right? In this article, they explain that one of the 4 A's that influence sugar consumption is awareness. Because of the way the food industry labels the products, and they put it in grams and then they put it in percentages, it's hard for people to understand, well, what does that mean to me,
Well, hold the phone. So you just dropped something here. It's percentages and grams, which most of us didn't like it in school, and we certainly don't want to see it on our food. So there is the tendency to just ignore it, because we don't want to bother with counting the grams and the percentages of our food. So go ahead. I just wanted to point that out because that's extremely important, because I'm, again, sliding it in there and keeping us unaware. And you're here to make us aware.
Yes, ma'am. And in this article, which I want to share with your listeners, in this article, it's the 4 A's that influence sugar consumption globally. It's availability, it's everywhere. Affordability, in a lot of cases, sugar is subsidized to make it more affordable. Acceptability, it's perceived to be safe. And awareness, because it's in so many products, but we're unaware of, like we said, grams and percentages. So different countries took on different measures to try to improve the awareness. And within the US, LA did a group study in 2015, I believe, and I could be wrong, but around that time, instead of saying grams and percentages, they said that the product has so many packets of sugar in it. And some of your listeners may remember seeing that. I remember seeing that. They put sugar packets, like when you go to a restaurant and you see the sugar packets on the table.
Right.
They said a can of Coke, it has 36 grams of sugar, which is equivalent to 6 teaspoons. But in LA, what they did was they made it out in how many packets of sugar.
So how many packets?
Well, for a can of Coke, I don't know that exact. Well, it's 36 grams of sugar equals 9 teaspoons. I've got to pull up the article. I'm getting all jumbled now.
No. Don't do that. But 9 teaspoons of sugar. Okay, most of us know what a teaspoon looks like, and that's a lot.
Right. And when they finished this study, and it was put in packets instead of grams or percentages,
right,
60% of the people that were made aware of the information that was given out said, I will definitely reduce my intake of sugar, because there was just so much sugar in the products that that we're totally unaware of, unless we're really drawn, the attention. Study, they wanted different countries to pass legislation to make sure that they made it easier to understand exactly how much sugar are in these products.
Yeah, who decides whether you're going to put, I guess the state government, because the federal FDA or USDA and all these regulators are leaving a lot of these decisions to state regulators. So they decide how they're going to manage that. So the public must be educated and made aware of what we're putting into our own bodies and take responsibility for our own health then.
Yes, I feel strongly about that, which is why I am doing what I'm doing. And I put together kind of a guide. It's called Sweet Deception, The Bitter Truth of Sugar's Rise.
Mm-hmm.
And this basically talks about where did sugar come from and how did it get so prevalent in our food? So when I'm working with my clients to crush the cravings, I'm helping them to be educated. Number one, what does sugar do when it gets in our body? And then how does our body react to that? And sugar is highly addictive. And
Yeah.
Coca-Cola knows that all too well, because when they took the cocaine out, what did they put in? They put in sugar.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why sugar is used by the food industry in mass quantities like it is, because it's highly addictive. It turns off signals in our body that tell us that we're full. Those signals don't work anymore because the sugar dulls them.
Right.
And sugar gives us a dopamine release that makes us feel good.
Exactly.
But if we eat sugar over and over again, that dopamine release dulls. So it makes us crave more and more sugar.
Yeah, just like any other addiction, right?
Yes, ma'am. And that's what I wrote about in this book. It's not an exciting read, but it's an informative read.
Yeah.
It's just 50 pages, but it just helps educate us to the point where we're not looking at sugar as, oh, it's just a sweet little sweetener. No, 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 no. There's studies over and over. Studies have been done that prove sugar it should not be consumed in mass quantities like
Right,
we are now.
right. So what is the general recommendation for um, eating sugar? Because we are going to eat sugar. It's built
Absolutely.
into us um, to eat it. So what would be the general recommendation for an amount per day or what?
According to the World Health Organization, and it's in the study that I'm happy to share, 5% of our total caloric intake for the day, which we're just using, say, 2,000 calories,
Mhm.
would be 6 teaspoons of sugar.
Okay, 6 teaspoons of sugar per 2,000 calories. But
That's
for first
correct.
people
Per
that are
day.
per day. Okay, so people who are in a weight loss regimen, like or toning or whatever, or getting to their ideal body weight, and they're not taking in 2,000 calories. Obviously, I can't imagine losing weight on 2,000 calories. If you can, somebody needs to tell me because I would like to see that meal plan. So if you're working on weight loss, should you have sugar at all?
Well, you want to minimize your sugar. And the reason is, now what I teach is and communicating with your body through the food that you eat. There's
Okay.
certain foods that you eat that will put your body into fat burn instead of fat storage. We burn so much energy a day. Our body will just burn that much energy every day. And we don't have to be running 5 miles or walking 10,000 steps. Your body's going to burn a certain amount every day.
Right.
And if we eat on a regular eating strategy where we're giving our body enough so that it keeps our glucose and our insulin at a level,
Right.
then if we don't give it quite enough, our body will tap into our stored energy. And
Mm.
our stored energy are cells, which we call fat cells.
Yeah.
But the way I look at it is if you have a wood stove and you have dry wood on the left and green wet wood on the right, which one's going to burn hotter? It's going to be the dried wood, right?
Yeah, and fast.
Well, and faster. Well, that's what these fat cells do in our body. When we enter fat burn, we get this burst of energy,
Mhm.
and it sustains us better because we're burning what the body has already prepared and stored for our use down the road. And how did it get there? We ate more energy than our body used in a day, so it stored it for us for later. Because our body is designed to preserve us and to keep us healthy. And
Right.
if we learn to communicate well with it through the food that we eat, it will restore and rebalance itself if we help it through what we eat.
I love that if we learn to communicate with it through the food that we eat. That is extremely powerful, Jackie, because that's a whole nother language. Okay.
It is.
To to communicate with your body through the food that we eat. As you were talking about burning energy, my mind went to doing strength training. And when you're doing strength, when I'm doing strength training, I realize something that if I do strength training, I feel differently than when I just do aerobics on the elliptical. And there's something about a shift in my energy. I feel more vibrant behind strength training than I do having spent, done 5 miles or whatever on the elliptical machine. Does that have anything to do with my sugar level or what is that?
It very well could have a lot to do with your sugar level. What I teach is an eating strategy. So everything that I help.
Excuse me for a moment, Jackie. You're kind of moving off the screen a little bit. Can you go?
Is this
Yeah,
better?
there you go. Let us see your
Sorry.
whole self. Your
Sorry.
whole pretty self. Okay, there you go, babe. All right.
So what I teach is an eating strategy.
Mm,
And when what you're describing, it could be that either your sugar level or your insulin is not is not staying level. You know what I mean? Because and that's one of the tricks of sugar. It will make us spike and
mm,
then drop, and that creates cravings and hunger pains.
mhm.
Whereas if we learn to just keep our sugar and our insulin level consistently, then we're not going to have those cravings. That's how you crush cravings. You're not going to have the cravings, and you're not going to have the hunger pangs. So that's all part of the strategy. And that very well be linked to what you're describing in your strength training.
Wow, that is so powerful. As a matter of fact, I switched from. I mean, I'm spending like weeks and weeks and weeks on the elliptical, and I have to confess. This is my moment of confession, y'all. I didn't shift. I didn't communicate with my body about my food or my food. They were not talking. I was just eating whatever I wanted to, and I was expecting a shift, and that was not working. At the same time, Jackie, I was not buying into a lot of um, the advice that you find online because I was looking for something that could work for everybody. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
And not at the same level, but still work in some way. Um, so as you're teaching these strategies to your clients, and thank you for your service in the military.
Oh,
I so
thank
applaud
you.
you,
Thank
and
you.
I applaud all of our military personnel, both active and retired. You guys help to stabilize us, in so many areas of the world and so many areas. And so we do appreciate that. And as you're taking part of that training into your coaching business, you are disciplined and strategic. And I appreciate that. So, how do you, in your strategies that you use with your clients, what are some of the microcosmic steps that a person can take away today to begin to shift? And we'll tell them how they can connect with you before we leave here today.
Oh, well, very good, and thank you. Yes, one of the key keys, I think, to an eating strategy is, in our modern American diet, we teach breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that 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 eating pattern alone has contributed a lot to some of our spiking and our crashing,
Mm-hmm.
because it's too far apart. And so our pancreas has to work extra to get the insulin to level out the glucose. Okay. So in the eating strategy that I teach is 6 times a day
Okay.
and every 2 to 3 hours. And I do a lot, as well as my clients, we set our alarm. So, because a lot of times, because we're not having hunger pains and we're not having cravings, we forget because we're busy.
Right.
When your alarm goes off, make sure you're prepared what you're going to eat, and it's a prepared, measured protein, healthy fat, so many calories, and stick to that plan. And you don't have to do 50 burpees. You don't have to go out and run, and you don't have to walk 10,000 steps a day. At the age of 60, I lost 38 pounds and 10 inches around my waist with that strategy. And my clients are doing the same thing. And within 4 days, when you enter fat burn, you know it, you feel it, you have energy. And after you've been doing this and you've taken off some of the extra weight, if you want to pick up walking or running or doing something, aerobics or dance, you're going to be better off doing it then, because you don't want to overwork your body if it's got extra stored energy, because as we get older, our body can't take that extra stress. It's going to put stress on our internal organs.
Oh, really?
So the eating strategy is going to be your friend. I did this doing 2-week cruises.
Mm-hmm.
And when I would look at the dessert stand, Christmas and Thanksgiving are coming up, like you mentioned, I would look at the dessert stand and I would say, wow, those are really pretty. I mean, they really did a good job. It was beautiful. You've been on cruises. They do a wonderful job. But because of what I know and the communication that I'm having with my body to get to my optimal health, and I saw it working and I had that burst of energy, I was like, no, I don't want that. I would like this. And it doesn't mean you'll never have sugar again. It just means you monitor what you have, when you have it, and where you are at your goal. And it's a very simple process, but until you have someone kind of show you, you're adopting new habits.
Yeah.
And it takes time to learn those habits, because we've been in bad habits I was in bad habits. I was pushing a weight that I hadn't even ever been at, because the military kept us at a certain standard. So I couldn't go there. But once I retired, that's when it all fell apart.
Sure. Okay, I hear you. So and by the way, I have never been on a cruise, because the idea of being in the middle of an ocean and cannot go out and walk on the ground, it just didn't excite me thus far. That doesn't mean I won't, but I love the beach.
I can
So
appreciate that.
all of you're talking about undoing decades of being trained, taught, educated. We got 3 meals a day from grade school.
Yes.
We grew up in that environment. And so we're finding out, and I know that there are many uh, researchers out there who have produced this information and are telling us, 3 meals a day is not the way to go, but to actually have smaller, high protein, good fat meals, um, 6 times a day. And as we're having this conversation, Jackie, way back when I actually had that program. I mean, there was days, I mean, I think it was the Atkins program or some of the programs that were out there, and where it was just high protein. And I did that. And I'm telling you, I got in the best shape of my life. And so today, this conversation is just kind of sparking that desire back in me. Yeah. So, I mean, that's what we have these talks here on the show. It's not just a talk is a big talk. What can we do to move people toward where they want to go and ultimately they know they need to go? So that's why we have you here today to share these tips with us, because we all need them. So positioning our bodies to be healthy is so important. And you as a coach, I as a coach, we want ourselves to be strong and our clients to be strong, because that's how you're going to be able to give what you have to the world, you know, in a big way. So the stronger we are, the better we can deliver. So we've got a couple of minutes, and I want you to spend that time to just kind of share with the audience what you want them to know. And also, if you have any events coming up, Jackie, make sure that they know about that, and then how to get in touch with you.
All right. Well, thank you. Yeah, I find that what is said most by my clients is that, wow, this is so much easier than I anticipated. I really thought it would be much harder. And I often say to them, this is not a diet. It's a lifestyle. It's a program that we implement, and say one day is better than the next day, or one day is a bad day and the next day is a better day. You just keep going. It's not doing it right or wrong. It's learning and growing as we go. And the more we do it, we hear our body. That my clients know what I mean when I say, you'll hear your body, and they give me examples. When you learn to listen to your body, it will talk to you. So my next workshop is going to be in honor of our veterans. As a veteran, I'm hosting it on Veterans Day, which is this Friday at 11 o'clock, and I'm on Eventbrite. My name is Jackie Dickens Walker, just like on my Facebook page. And my Facebook weight loss page will tell you that as well. It's Jackie Walker Weight Loss. And then I also have a Sugar Craving Crushers Facebook group. And you're welcome to join any one of those, and they will lead you to the others. And thank you, Dr. Faye, for having me as a guest. And I look forward to helping whoever feels like I might be of help to them. Happy to help you.
Well, I think the majority of people who will lean into this conversation will feel as though you can be a great help. And I think I'm in your Facebook sugar crushing group. And
yes, you are.
And I totally agree with your teaching, your coaching. And I just spotlight you today to let you know you are doing an amazing job. You're such a blessing to the world. And I feel so honored and blessed that I get to work with you and to share this space with you today. Jackie, thanks for being here on the Dr. Faye Show.
Thank you.
Okay, see you soon. Well, folks, that was another round with another amazing coach, Jackie Dickens Walker. She's going to help you crush those sugar cravings. And I'm telling you, I'm going to follow her, be a little shadow behind her. And I suggest you do the same thing, because we can all do this if we work together, right? And change the laws, change legislation, because who are you to tell me that I need all that sugar every day? I don't. And I don't want it, so I choose not to. Listen, thank you for joining me for another talk. I appreciate your being here. Be so kind and share it with a friend and family, and shoot me a review at the email coach@drfaye.com. We're setting up a review page, and I don't think it's up right now, but for now, just shoot me a review or drop it in the comment section on any of the socials, and we will take it in from there. And also, remember this last thing. You know what I'm about to say, don't you? I'm going to tell you anyway. The calling is a gift, but the choice is yours. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye now.
Have you been feeling lately like your dreams are dead? That your vision will never come into fruition? Listen, I know how that can feel, but you don't have to stay there. If you're feeling like you're ready to build your confidence and embrace your message and move into your creative brilliance and create a lasting impact in your business and in your life. If you could answer, yes, that's me, to at least one of those, then I want to welcome you to the journey of transformation and empowerment. You're going to learn how you too can take the stage with confidence, with focus, with power, and empowerment. As a woman professional and leader, you can take your place in the world right now. You're in the right place at the right time. I'm DrFaye, and my grandmother was a midwife. And one of the things she practiced was to stop the pain. And I stand on her shoulders today to help as many women as I possibly can to stop the pain. So I want to invite you to a journey of transformation and empowerment, where there are hundreds, if not thousands of women already who are embracing transformation through their stories, through their testimonials. You can achieve wealth mastery and close the wealth gap and close every gap between the vision and your reality. Breathe life into your dreams again. Breathe life into your vision again. That is not about anything but your decision to click on the link. Go to events.drfaye.com. Make that decision now to join us, and together we will create a world where women professionals and leaders shine brighter than ever before and make a mark upon this world that can never be erased. So don't miss your opportunity. Don't be a spectator in the parade. Build your own float, girl. Come on. Go to the link now, events.drfaye.com. And I will love seeing you there. See you soon. Bye-bye now.